Today on the show, there's a new Marvel team-up in Thunderbolts. Nicolas Cage only wants to surf with his son until he has to face off against a gang of psychotic surfers in, what else? The Surfer. Then what's worse than Grandma dying? It's being cursed and stuck in a room with her dead body in Rosario. Then I play catch-up and check out Warfare. Let's get started.
Look at you. You are all so adorable. I send you down there to kill each other, and instead, you make nice and you form a team. Who is this old Santa?
Is Thunderbolts the one that finally puts this franchise on track? Is it really significantly better than a lot of the ones that have come out in the past couple years? Well, yes, it is that much better. With that being said, in the first act or so, I really just thought it was fine. Yeah, it was reminding me of some of the earlier entries from 2008 to 11, but not one I would have considered to be one of the better ones, but of the past couple of years it was one of the better ones. Then the more it went on, the more I really was enjoying the hell out of it. The movie takes B characters from previous entries and gives them their own ensemble starring roles. Some plot points it even elaborates on, and the characters here that I liked in other movies, I still liked here. Then there's some that may have been forgettable before, and while I may not have loved them here, I still felt like I got to know them a little better. There are some surprises too. There's a death where I was like, oh, I'm sure that's okay, but no, that person doesn't come back. It really does let these characters be assholes. They're assholes at the start of it, and they're assholes by the end of it. I loved John Walker on the TV series, and here, he's the same guy, like someone who would be a lead in an 80s vigilante movie, but is in a 2025 universe. For the most part, it knows how to do the comedy. When there are these serious beats, it really lets them happen, and as it went on, I did care about these people because it does humanize them while not ignoring their flaws as people. When you think a character might start getting a little obnoxious, it pulls back on it so you still like them. It has flashbacks that don't slow the movie down or break the pace. They're worked into the plot and are extremely important. And when it looks like they're going for a stock, special effects filled, explosion heavy climax, that's not the centerpiece here. It actually gets very creepy at times and brings some real dramatic weight to the climax. The characters are front and center instead of giving way to spectacle. Where you have these people who are battling the movie's real villain, which is depression, and it tackles that very well. A standout here is Lewis Pullman, who in the trailer makes Bob seem like a joke, but there is real tragedy with this guy, and the performance is great. The movie doesn't always work. There's a lot of pause for banter moments where there aren't so much jokes, it's just rambling with no one saying cut. I don't know this for sure, but I'm guessing that a lot of the writing I do like comes from the screenwriter who has credits like The Bear, Hacks, and BoJack Horseman to her name, and some of the shtickier stuff I wasn't into maybe comes from the writer who also co-wrote Thor Ragnarok. Like, there's a lot of obvious lines, like they're written in case someone is watching it in the background and can still follow along. That said, I did love the ending, which really made me want to see where it would go next, and that hasn't happened in a while. The first part was writing a B, but everything I loved about the second half bumped it up to a B+ for me. This was a nice surprise. Coming up next, a woman has lost her grandma and possibly her soul in Rosario. Stay tuned. In Rosario Fuentes is a financial advisor who is obsessed with her work and doesn't even have time to help out the kindly doorman. When she sees a snowstorm coming, she knows that's gonna help out the stocks and get her clients some money until she sees the sad news that her grandma dies, sending her off to deal with some family drama. This thing starts out like a Christmas romance movie. But no, it's a horror film where the snowstorm traps her in the apartment with her grandma's dead body, where there may have been a curse placed on her, which she is fighting to break. At some points, I was interested in where it was going, and at other times, it was a slog. The characters and the plot aren't that interesting enough for a movie that's 95% in one location. It seemed padded out with a lot of gross out bits like vomiting up worms, or creatures popping up just for jump scare purposes, or a worm going in her hand, an outer ear, which she quickly brushes off. There's a lot of searching around the apartment, reading things out loud for the audience, ADR coming in case a prop was shown too quickly, and then when you think it's over, another twist comes in, and even after that, there's another ending attached. The bright spot of it was the neighbor, David Desmalchian, who just wants his air fryer back. He doesn't really factor into much here, but I liked whenever he popped up. This was a C. It kind of felt like a Shudder movie, but not one that would be playing in theaters, just one you might watch at home on a Friday night for a serviceable 90 minutes, and then not think about it much later. Up next, Nicolas Cage is back with another bonkers flick. Can't wait for this. Stay tuned.
I want my surfboard.
Okay. I'm sure it's just a mix-up. Is it one of these?
Dude, that's my board, and I want it back.
Nicolas Cage goes back to the place where he grew up and brings his young son along to relive his youth in surfing, and is about to close a deal on getting his old house back on the beach, if only the place wasn't swarmed with a group of surfing assholes, making his life a living hell with their own cult going on that's like a cross between Point Break and Fight Club. This thing starts out like an old LSD juvenile delinquent film and shot like a spaghetti western if it was about this poor man just wanting to get his board back. My enjoyment of this was going up and down. The gang of bully surfers and most of the people who inhabit this place are so antagonistic to the point of being more obnoxious than scary, aside from their leader, Julian McMahon, who is excellent in this. I even started feeling less sorry for Nick Cage as it went on, because it reached a point where so much terrible shit is happening to him, but there are several parts he could have just left. Like, bro, do you really want to live here now? He even does have access to a weapon at one point and doesn't really do anything with it. I was like, this better have a satisfying conclusion. And it does. I really enjoyed the third act. Where this movie goes, I was finally like, okay, I get it now. It is an unpredictable film. They've really crafted a cool film here with a great Nick Cage performance about this man and the stealing of his identity, seemingly erasing who he is and his own existence and confidence, and making him question his own dreams and insecurities. It's a good B. I liked it, but it does test your patience at times. Up next, I finally got a chance to check out Warfare. Stay tuned.
Oh, fuck.
Co-directed by Alex Garland and Iraq veteran Ray Mendoza, who himself was part of this mission in 2006, where Navy SEALs are doing surveillance, but it turns into a real-time fight for their lives when trapped inside. This starts out putting you in the time and place as we see their bond as they're watching hot music videos of the time. It takes out a traditional Hollywood narrative of a war film. There's no big speeches or melodrama spliced in with the action. This is insanely great filmmaking in putting you right in the middle of the action, where you're just white-knuckling it the whole time, from a loud, heart-stopping moment with an IED, and even the quieter parts in the first act, where you see them doing their job, they're bonding, they're telling jokes, but it's still film filmed with this quiet tension where you know this mission is gonna go south any second and you're on edge waiting for it to happen. It's been out in theaters for a few weeks now, and I missed it because it came out one of the weekends I was at a convention, but my wife saw it and came home raving about it, so I was like, yeah, I really should find time to see this. The Valiant ones can't be one of the only war films I've seen this year. This was an A-. Sometimes I had trouble telling who was who, but that's minor. This is an incredibly intense film, worth seeing in theaters if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, everyone. Subscribe today and click the notification bell, and stay tuned next week where I'll have a review for Clown in a Cornfield. That is a great title. See you then.